the chances of finding anything that that would tune up the hearts of people who are worried about the crew are pretty remote. But Tom, it just seems that whatever started so well, I mean, the luck tends to go in cycles, and they'd had a run of bad luck and a run of delays for sometimes seemingly silly reasons. But this morning, everything looked so well that it just was that much more unexpected when this flight ended in such tragedy.
Steve, I think what happens is that in this high-tech world in which we all live these days, we expect these things to go off flawlessly. We expect all kinds of what would be considered minor miracles just 10 years ago to be part of our routine lives. And I think maybe that television has contributed to some of that as well, because we've covered a number of these launches. They have been quite beautiful. I can tell you, as one who has watched a number of them from where Steve Delaney is today, it's an exhilarating experience. It seems as if nothing can go wrong. After all, we're putting a 37-year-old woman school teacher on board the space shuttle. There's a lot of excitement about that.
Well, that's what I meant about...
But it's a very complicated piece of machinery, and it is highly volatile.
Well, it certainly was this morning. Krista McAuliffe was selected, as you recall, over about 11,000 other applicants, all of who wanted to get in on this program. There have been 1,400 or so journalists who have submitted their names in a deadline that recently passed to be the first professional storyteller to go into space and turn around and come back and try to increase the knowledge of what's been going on. They used to say about astronauts that they were very good pilots and not very good poets, but the idea was to try to make the kind of magic that the space program had become more available to people who had no special training as perfect physical specimens or test pilots. A long way between a 37-year-old lady school teacher and the kind of people who we had with the Glens and the Shiraz and the first crop of astronauts who flew the Mercury program out of here so many years ago.
Steve, we have the first reaction from Nancy Reagan, who was watching, it turns out, the launch of the shuttle this morning in the private quarters of the White House, and one of her spokespersons said that Mrs. Reagan's reaction immediately was, "Oh my God." She watched in shocked disbelief, we're told. She said that she would start praying for some thread of hope. Tragically as well, not only were 1,200 students of Concord High School, where Mrs. McAuliffe taught, watching this on television today, but at the Cape itself, her family was assembled. Her husband Stephen and two small children, a boy and a girl. Young Scott and Caroline were there watching too. That, I believe, is her mother and father. They appear not to know quite what's going wrong. Now, the realization. McAuliffe's parents watching today at Cape Canaveral, you could hear the NASA commentator in the background say there's a major malfunction. Now I think it is beginning to dawn on them that something terribly is wrong. You can hear another NASA official in the background saying, let's get out of this area.